Thanks for your support as a channel member, Nick Lemon. Right, folks, I know it gets a little bit old when I'm asking for likes on these videos all the time, but you may have noticed recently, likes are down a bit. Because of that, views are down a little bit too. They directly correlate. Thank you to everybody who is still hitting like on every video automatically. You lot, super awesome. Thank you. Much appreciated. If any of the rest of you could find it in your heart or fingers to stick a thumbs up on this video and get us back up to 2,000 likes again, that would also be super appreciated and does help support the channel massively. It is the biggest thing you can do to support the channel. So, yeah, I'd really appreciate it. And I promise if you do it, I won't ask for a little while again. See, I gave you a little bit of time off. Now I'm asking again. Let's make me not have to ask again for a little while. Plus, you know, it's a promotion push today, so we should be liking it anyway. Hello and welcome to Club 3, Part 12 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the first two of our final four games of the season. We're at home against MK Dons and away against Blackburn. Since you were last with me, we only played a couple of games, I think, because we wanted to get into this run-in. So I think you saw Cardiff and Leeds. We then beat Hull, beat Bristol City, lost to top of the table Swansea, but the league table still looks like this. 4 games left to play, and we are the team in possession. Second place, 73 points, by far and away the best goal difference of everybody chasing Swansea, which is surprising considering we haven't got an out-and-out goal scorer in our team. But obviously goals coming from everywhere, plus we don't concede a whole lot of goals as well, which is quite handy. Realistically, I think the team we're really looking at is Villa. They're 1 point behind us. There is then a bit of a gap, 5 points back to Fulham. MK Dons in there as well, who we play today. West Brom, Stoke, Derby, Brentford, Bradford, Hull. All these teams are going to feel like they're still in with a shout at the playoffs. But I think realistically, for automatic promotion, it's almost getting to the point where it's us or Villa. So we need a win today. Why does it tell me that MK Dons are playing Derby today? Have I come back before the match? I never come back before the match. When is the match? It's like a week away. What nonsense is this? Bear with me a moment. I just remembered why I came back now. I've had a job offer from Crystal Palace in the Premier League. This happened late last night. You'll have to excuse me for not remembering. But Palace, a consistent Premier League team for getting, well, over 10 years now. They've been a mid-table Premier League side. So, you know, rules of the save and all that. I can't not go for this. Plus, my assistant manager from Bristol Rovers, Jimmy Smith, who I plucked from obscurity, aka York, and brought him into Bristol Rovers. He's since gone to Sunderland and is now the assistant manager at Crystal Palace. So there is a certain connection there. Jimmy Smith, currently caretaker manager. Obviously, we had the same with Matt Howard when I came here to Barnsley. He's someone I worked with at King's Lynn. So there is a definite reason to take the interview outside of the rules of the save. But what I am going to do is, when the question comes up, he looks very young. When the question comes up asking if I'm willing to take over the job straight away, I think for the first time ever, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say end of the season. We're 4 games away from a potential Premier League promotion. And I think I don't mind having Crystal Palace as a safety net if we bottle it with Barnsley. And to be honest, even if we get promoted with Barnsley, there's probably a very good reason to jump ship and go to Palace anyway. But I don't want to go now and miss out on the promotion fund when we're this close. If it was early February, and Palace were in a relegation battle, it would be different. But they're mid-table as usual. We're on the verge of promotion. I think my mate Jimmy can handle things until the end of the season. Right, you've done some highly. I want to take I do want to take the next step. Some people might be inclined to say you're taking something of a risk. I've done that before. Keen to make my way up the managerial ladder, and we're defying expectations. Yeah, I've done a good job there. Next step kind of stuff. Previously being broad in media controversies. I don't even do my own media. This is silly. I've learned from those mistakes. The club has been underperforming for far too long. They've been sorry, Graham, but you're Crystal Palace and you've been in the Premier League as a comfortable mid-table team for 10 years. In my lifetime, that is overperforming for Crystal Palace. What are you talking about? I believe I have a reputation. I don't want to be arrogant in my interview. I'll do the top one. Here we go. I'd prefer to see out the season with my current club before joining. Yes, I'm happy to work with a director of football. I'd like to bring in some of my own staff, develop players for your own youth system. Counter-attacking, I'm not keen on. So they want top half in the Premier League, and they're looking to push on for the Europa League. Wowzers. Okay, that's interesting. At present, yeah, that's fine. I don't need to discuss anything else. Right, we will... oh, my word. Am I the favourite for this job? I didn't apply for this. This just sort of appeared. As you can see, I've not even been searching for jobs here yet because it's not filtered down to just managers. So, Crystal Palace, where are they? Marcelino is the favourite for the job. But clearly, the media think I've got a chance. I'm just considering my options. Please don't sack me, Barnsley. Please don't sack me. This isn't the ideal thing for me to be messing around doing in the biggest week in the history of the football. They've been in the Premier League before, but the biggest hit week in the history of the football club. Apparently, I want the job. I don't remember saying that, but we'll see. Let's. I don't know why am I showing you? I don't show you these bits. What's all this? We'll be back on match day, and I might have been offered a job by then. Who knows? Well, it is match day. No news from Palace yet. Other than the fact that I am now favourite for the job. So, I quite fancy it. I think it would be a lot of fun. But let's focus on the matter at hand, which is getting Barnsley promoted first. And this is the team we're putting out there for part 1 of a 4-part epic of trying to do that against MK Dons. We've got Woodman in goal, a back 4 of Brown, Stevens, Diaby and Williams, Rimanotter and Mowat in midfield, Chong, Slattery and Tuther Brown in behind, Hornby up front. Hornby is actually on the verge of being the top scorer in Barnsley's history in a season. Apparently, these records only start from the start of the save, which I'm not sure that used to be the way it worked. But apparently it is the way it works now. So the current record is 20. He's on 18. The media have been praising it, but don't... great. What do I say? We weren't expected any of this, so I don't want to put any pressure on. You should win this one fairly comfortably. Play your own game and you'll win. I think that's... I mean, it's not ideal, is it? It's not the best team talk I've ever done, but it's a weird situation to be in because we're so massively overperforming. Hornby very nearly opening the scoring early on. We need to fix that early on in this match. We need to be able to look at that league table constantly. Who are Villa playing? Villa are away against Hull. Hull are down in 11th place. So the Villa, although away from home, do have slightly easier opposition. But what we've learnt from this championship this season is that it's a bit random and everyone beats everybody else. So just because Hull are down there, they are one of the upper echelon clubs financially. And Chong has just got his 10th goal of the season to put us 1-0 up. And what an important goal it could end up being. 24 minutes gone. It's Barnsley 1, MK Dons 0. We'll have a little look. Look, Riminotter's involved. The Rimanotter Hate Club is involved again. Williams with the cross, and Chong had a very slow start to the season this year, but 10 goals now from midfield, albeit attacking midfield. He's a winger. He's got 10 goals. Brown's probably scored well over that and did last year too. But still, Chong, for a player we brought in for what, £3.5 million, consistently scores plenty of goals from that side, playing out of position, can't really argue, and he does turn up in the big games when it really matters. Brown now beats his man, cross comes over looking for Chong again, but it ends up going all the way over to left-footed Brown, who plays it into Chong, back to Brown again, cross comes over looking for Hornby, falls to Chong, Rimanotter, Chong again, and Chong has scored again. What do they say about Chong in big games? He's scored twice now, 2-0 up just before half-time. I don't know what's going on with Villa, but all of a sudden there's a 4-point gap. We need to see what's going on in the Aston Villa game. For goodness sake, I've been asking for it for years. Give me picture-in-picture, Football Manager. Why can't we have the Villa game going on in the corner? What's going on there? Villa are losing away against Hull. This is massive. And we could do with half-time, really, so I can calm down and blow my nose. But MK Dons are in behind here. Woodman makes the save, and then that's a terrible follow-up from the initial save from Woodman. I'm not going to complain about it being terrible. He's not my striker, but he should have done better than that. Right, halftime team talk. You know what's coming. Don't get complacent. That's all we can ask for. at this stage. I mean, I'll continue to ask for, please, Hull, can you beat Aston Villa? And with that scoreline at the moment, Hull, again, this is what I mean about the Championship this season. Hull now forcing themselves into the conversation with 3 games to go. As it stands, they're only 2 points outside the playoffs. So Hull right back in with a chance of promotion in their own right. Everybody all the way down to, you've got to say all the way down to Bradford is still in this with 3.5 games to go, which is, it's pretty exciting stuff. Swansea trying to spoil it for everybody. That was a terrible pass. Who was guilty of that? I was too busy looking at the league table. I think it's Williams. We have an absolutely shocking pass, and that is the Championship's top scorer, Tom Cannon, as well. Is it Slattery? Slattery, that's terrible. I might just bring Beerer on now, because that was a hideous pass. And like I say, Championship's top scorer, you don't give him a clear-cut chance like that. I said don't get complacent, and it's literally the next thing he does is a complacent pass. There's Slattery, a lot of making up to do. Williams, I'm sorry for doubting you, Mr. Williams. Brown now on the right-hand side. Cross comes over, looking for Chong for his hat-trick, but he finds Hornby, who gets hhis 19th of the season, 3-1 up on the hour mark, and Hornby's now only 1 goal away from being our top scorer in a season with 3 games to go. So all the Fraser Hornby doubters, he was the prolific striker we wanted all along. Although he's not a 30-goal-a-season man, which is what I really wanted. But luckily, it was a goal for Hornby that he didn't have to think about. It's just nodded down for him. He hit it hard. That's what we know he can do. Let's just check in on Hull again. Still only 1-0 up against Villa. We could do with them getting another couple of goals, really. Right, changes. We are going to take Slattery off because of what he did. He knows why he's coming off. And we're also going to take off Brown for Wilkes, and we're going to stick Chong for the last 20 minutes. He's playing so well. Let's give him some time playing in his actual position to give him the opportunity to play even better and hopefully finish off a hat-trick in what would then be classed as a very dominant performance. We're very much keeping an eye on the whole match. Chong now with a free kick from deep. Don't really know what he's trying to do there. Villa have equalised. I've just seen at the top there. Brown is on a yellow card. We haven't got the other guy who's Burke. We haven't got him on the bench. Right, we'll do the normal, bring McGeehan on them for Riminota. Even though Riminota had quite a good game today, but McGeehan's one of the best players in the division. So at times like this, when we just want to protect a lead, let's get one of our best players on. We're blessed with a lot of talent in midfield and Riminota, so it's an excellent situation to be in. But MK Dons have just scored a very similar goal to the first one without us playing the through ball this time. It's one of their own players who's done it. But even still, it's a very tidy finish. Which, Woodman looks weak from shots across him into the top corner because he's conceded 2 of them now. And he's not even diving. He's falling the wrong way. I was going to drop a little bit of praise. I don't know if I should now. I'm going to anyway because we are still winning. So let's drop some praise. Villa still drawing away against Hull. But we're still on the attack. Should I be dropping back to a counter-attacking system? I know I shouldn't because it never works for us. But people will be telling me I should, especially because MK Dons are about to come and score now. And they're charging in that danger position again. Woodman, this time, he hasn't been watching the tapes of earlier on in the game. Should have played it across him and high, played it into Woodman's saving zone, and he did manage to save it and mow it. Weird version of a defensive header because he's just headed it down, but there's nobody there. Chong makes the tackle, clears up towards Hornby. Hornby just needs to hold the ball up here. Prove to me you are a target man. He did very well, actually. Kept hold of the ball, won us a throw. Can't really argue with that from Fraser Hornby, and we've got no time left. We've won the match, and that is a massive result. Second half performance wasn't acceptable. Let's tell them off a little bit to keep them motivated going into the Blackburn game because the games don't get any less important the further on into this we go. Swansea, just confirmation that they've won the league. Chong with a very good performance as well. Apparently, whoever he is, Brendan Rodgers, wants to sign Jordan Williams. So does Rangers manager. Neither of them are having him if I'm sticking around. Villa came back to win against Hull. The Rascals, how dare they? How dare they? It really is us and Villa now with 3 games to go, I think. And we are still in the driving seat. So fingers crossed we keep the momentum going against Blackburn. Well, that's the Palace job off the table then. Who's this guy? Why has he got the job ahead of me? To be fair. Okay. I'll allow it. Couple of changes for the Blackburn game. Then Burke comes in for Brown at left back because I wanted to bring him on in the last game, so I'll bring him on now. And Beera, of course, comes into the team instead of Slattery after what he did. He's not even going to be on the bench because of what he did. Almost cost us everything. But let's submit this. It might be a bit harsh that both Brown and Slattery are not even on the bench. But we have, I mean, it shows the strength and depth we've got in the squad because that is a very strong bench that we've got there. We need more players, really. Not more players, more substitute spots. Right, Blackburn are 15th, we're first for form. So, yeah, let's show them why we're the first for form. That sounds like an advert for like a plumbing company. LOLLUJO Plumbing, you're first for form. I don't know what that would mean in relation for plumbing, but I like it. I might start a plumbing business if this YouTube thing doesn't work out. What is happening here? Why is our sweeper keeper not charging? I mean, he did make the save, but he should have been charging out there and dealing with that, so he didn't even have to make a save. I haven't looked at who Villa are playing today. We need to have a quick look at that before we go any further. I should have looked at that before the match. I'm the worst football manager in the world. I can't see because we keep kicking the ball around. Hornby, heads just over. Let me see who Villa are playing. Villa are playing. We'll never know. We are never going to find out who Aston Villa are playing today. And that's going to frustrate me greatly. Oh, get the ball away. I mean, there's some nice dogged defending there from a combination of Stevens and Diaby. And we actually come away with a bit of a counter-attack with Chong on this left-hand side. If he can beat his man, which he can with ease. Can he find Hornby? He's going it alone. Hornby's there anyway. And there is goal number 20 of the season for Fraser Hornby. He draws level with the current Barnsley record that stood for 5 years because it's only a 5-year thing. But Chong did absolutely superbly here. The amount of times this season, I've talked about how frustratingly inconsistent Chong is. But like I said in the last match, when it really, really, really matters, that man turns up and is a bit special, isn't he? That was an outstanding... Firstly, fantastic defending from Diaby and Stevens to deny what looked like a pretty certain goal. And then the breakaway from Chong, the finish from Hornby, everyone involved in that did really, really well. And now we are going to try and find who Villa are playing. They're top of the list. They're at home against Forest. Where are Forest? Forest are down in 15th place. So you would think a comfortable home win for Villa. But this division, the way it is, that nothing is guaranteed. Williams has done brilliantly there to beat his man. I don't know where Brown is ahead of Williams, but Williams doesn't need him. Our right back did that. I don't understand what's just happened. Where is Brown? Why is Williams playing on the right wing on his own? Is that Brown back? Yeah, there's Brown all the way back there. And Williams just squeezing it into the tiniest of gaps between the keeper and the post. It didn't look like there was a gap there. But Williams found it and scored. And just before half-time, we're 2-0 up. And not only that, Forest are 2-0 up at Villa. I said nothing is guaranteed in this weird championship this season. And that is a beautiful thing to see. Aston Villa 0, Nottingham Forest 2 at half-time. We're beating Blackburn 2-0 as well. All of which means, as it stands, we're 4 points clear of Villa going into the final 2 games, 2.5 games. We've still got a half to play. Anything can happen in this second half, but things are looking very good for us right now. And long may it continue. Oh, my goodness, would I love her. It would be such an unlikely promotion if we managed to secure that this year. Brown loses out on the ball here, though. And Blackburn have decided they don't want us to... No automatic promotion for us. Let's spoil our fun. Because Blackburn, realistically, not in the promotion push. They're probably the first of the teams... similar to Forest, really, in that group of teams that realistically aren't going to get there, even though they're not a million miles away, but they've probably left it a little bit too late. In fact, mathematically for Blackburn, if they don't win today, they cannot make it into the playoffs. So we're killing off their playoff hopes here, in addition to hopefully securing, well, not securing, but taking a step further towards an automatic promotion spot for ourselves. We are going to drop to our 4-3-3. We didn't do it in the last game. We're away from home today, though, and I'm a little bit more afraid. So McGeehan's going to come on. Mowat is going to drop back, and we're going to do that with our midfield 3. We're also going to take off Brown and bring on Wilkes, which we do fairly regularly now because it allows us to get Chong into that inside forward position where somehow he manages to play even better. I mean, according to this, he's the worst player currently on the pitch. Did the guy who picks the ratings, was he not watching for that first goal? Forest have just gone 3-0 up. Goodness me. Right. what are we going to do for our final change? We're going to do Rimanotic and come off for Traore. Normally, I would go by rating and take Chong off, who apparently is having a really poor game. But he's so capable of just doing something absurd that will get us a goal that I just want to keep him on for that basis. He's like our Matt Letizia. McGeehan from range. Although, of course, he wasn't forced to play out of position for his entire career for Southampton. But, you know, he's just doesn't look like he's doing a lot for most of the game. And then all of a sudden, something ridiculous. That I think when you're in a promotion push, not only can you afford one player like that, I think you kind of have to have a player like that for games where it's getting a little bit tight and your normal system isn't working and you need someone just to do something a little bit out of the ordinary, think outside the box, do something nobody else can do. We saw it from Chong earlier in this game, and it could have helped push us into the Premier League. So there's your argument for having Chong in the team. What a save from Woodman. I know there were a few people who thought it was a little bit harsh to drop Hilson because he had been playing very well earlier on in the season, but I think Woodman has just made a save there to confirm why he's now our first choice keeper, because that was awesome. Let's just double check that Villa didn't have a ridiculous comeback in their game. They have secured a playoff spot. Had we already done that? Oh, we'd already done that. Okay, I'll allow it. So, going into tomorrow's episode, we are 4 points clear and we are playing Bradford and Reading. So Bradford are pretty much out of it now. They've got to beat us to have any kind of chance, so they're going to be very motivated. Obviously, fairly local to Barnsley as well, so they'll have plenty of reasons to want to beat us. And then Reading are just having a terrible season, despite being one of the richer teams in the division and being able to throw money around all year. £17 million spent, but yeah, they're having a poor year. Who have Villa got to play? Should we look at everything? So Villa are away against Leeds. We need Leeds to do us a favour. I'm sure they'll be keen to do that. I mean, they're in a relegation battle, so in fact, they're pretty much secured safety. So you'd expect Villa to win that one, and then hopefully, where are we there? This is where we're on the telly against Bradford. And I mean, really, if we beat Bradford, it doesn't matter. If we win that game, we get promoted, don't we? Oh, tomorrow is so exciting. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.